Okay, this should work right now. Just waiting for, make sure I can see it. Okay. All right. Sorry about a little bit of background noise, but it's hot. I'm not gonna turn my fan off. I'm sorry. Uh, I'll lower it. Okay. I lowered the fan, so it's not as loud, but it's too damn hot to turn that fan off. Okay. Anyway, what I want to talk about today is a question I saw come up. Um, I think it's just more of a maybe a misunderstanding or something in how some stuff in the API works. But basically, how to set the visibility of the graphics in your map, right? So I think that might come up from, so if I go to the reference under Esri graphic here, I gotta double check, I don't even know. So the graphics do have a visible property to them, right? Where if you're adding graphics to a graphics layer or something like that, you should be able to go through and just set the visibility on each graphic layer. Uh, However, try it off. That doesn't work on feature layers because feature layers are like one geometry, right? The cool part with graphics layers is the fact that it's a bag of graphics. I think that's a term people still use, right? Where you can pretty much just throw any geometry graphic you want there. Polygon, point, line could all be inside one graphics layer, but it's not something that's meant to be persistent. Feature layers are a bit more persisted. They have kind of a state to them, but they can only be one geometry. So when you're dealing with graphics that come out of a feature layer, you can't just turn the visibility of them off, right? Like what the user was trying to do is they were trying to grab the graphics, set the visible to false, and then they were trying to use apply edits to update the graphics inside the feature layer. And that's just not going to work. That's not what you can do. You can control the entire visibility of the feature layer. So I can just say, actually say false. All right, so if I set the visibility to false, then when my map comes back up here, you can't see it, right? This is like what the layer list widget will let you do, turn layers on and off and stuff. But you have a couple options. You have a couple of ways that you can do this inside the JavaScript API. So if we let's come over here, layers and feature layer. I'd make this font bigger. I can try, but when I do it, yeah, I don't like the layout so much. I need room. I need to be able to see what I'm doing here. Okay, so the ideal way I think you should do it, if you know up front what it is you're looking for, is go to properties here and set a definition expression. Definition expression will let you right off the bat define what features you want to grab from the feature service for your feature layer. And this is actually optimal because it's going to request less data. That's less geometries being downloaded, less attributes being downloaded. So a smaller payload, network traffic to your application. So this is really like the idea of what you want to do. Well, they've got a sample URL here. I probably should have copied this one here, or what I did. I'll show you how I would follow these steps. Is I go to the URL for the service here, and I would do this whether I would normally use like an item ID, a portal item ID from ArcGIS Online. But if I want to get more familiar with the service itself, is I'd go to this page here because I can go down to the query tab, which I'll show you in a second how to do. Right, so maybe I want to filter out, these are counties for all the US, and that's all the counties, right? So it's a lot of geometries and polygons, right? And polygons are kind of a pain because they have so many vertices on them, and we have ways to optimize the geometries when we request them from the server and draw them and everything. So, I mean, this many geometries isn't bad, but if it was like hundreds of thousands of polygons, and you're talking a lot of data coming back. But if I can limit that to just what I need, then I'm going to want to do that. So, for example, maybe I only care about state, right? So I'm interested in bringing only for the state of California. Now, just looking at this, I don't know, do I have to spell California? Is it abbreviated? Is it lowercase, uppercase, camel case? I mean, I just have no idea. So I'll come over here to query, and the famous 1 equals 1, right? For outfields, I'm only interested in the state outfield. I don't care about geometry. Return distinct values. Sure, I'll set that to true. And let's go ahead and query that, see if that works. Okay, so that worked. So, okay, I can tell here that the state field is set up so it's only the abbreviation, all caps. So my definition expression, what I can do is just come in here, type up a definition expression, and I can say state, and capitalization is important here. It's going to be equal to, and because it's a string, I have to wrap it in single quotes, CA. So now I should only get the counties for California. Perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. And just to play around with this a bit, let's see, what's another field here? Population. I mean, I don't really... let's try this. Okay, so that was one we messed with. So let's do population. I'm assuming it's a, yeah, it's a number as we type integer. Greater than, I mean, what? 50, 2, 3. No, wait, how am I doing here? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 5 million. Right? So the counties with a population greater than 5 million. I mean, it's Los Angeles. I thought there were a couple more. How many people in Los Angeles County? I thought there was more than that. Okay, Chicago has a county with a population greater than 5 million. I mean, there's not a lot with that kind of population county-wise, right? Let's just go with like 2 million. There'll be more for that. But yeah, so I could do something like this, and it's, like I said, this minimizes the amount of data I actually download in my app. So this is like the optimal way to do something like that, right? But you're not limited to that. There are other options, other things I can do, say, after the fact. So if we come to feature layer has this property called effect. Okay, and effect lets me do some pretty cool stuff where I can change the hue and the color, brightness, and these are based off of CSS filters, right? That's where these strings are going to come from and things you can do. So to get an effect though, I need to apply this. Well, I guess I can apply this to layer, but really what I want to do is not apply it to layer, but I want to apply it to the layer view. So if I come back up here to feature layer, I think this is going to be a link here somewhere. Feature layer view, maybe not. Oh, here we go. Feature layer view under C also. Yeah, so feature layer view has some cool stuff for effect and filter. So I'll just stick with filter. If you're interested in using feature effect on layer views, I can show that later on. But a feature filter is where I can go ahead and do some stuff very similar to a definition expression. Now, again, this is something that you would probably want to do when you're doing some sort of interactive application, because you already downloaded all the data, and now I'm interested in doing something else with it. Okay, so let's get rid of this one here. Get rid of that definition expression. And again, I don't know if I pointed that out, but it's pretty much just a SQL statement for your layer, and you can always test that out under the query tab of the service here. So if you come down to query, you can always test them out there. Just pointing that out. Okay, so let's get myself a layer view here. So it's going to be view. Let's do this. Actually, I'd rather do it in here. So view.when, because I'm going to make this async. Yeah, okay, I thought it was going to be an error. No, I don't really practice these before I do them, so if I do something wrong, I am sorry. Let's check and make sure my mic's on, and yes, it is. Okay, so, okay, let's get my layer view. Const, oh my gosh. Layer view is going to be equal to await view.when layer view. Now pass it to layer. All right, let me give myself some more space here. Okay, so at this point, I've got my layer view. I do need to do one thing though. So I need to wait for it to be finished doing something. So let's do this. Let's import from ArcGIS core for watch utils. And I want, what do I want? I forget. When false, once. There we go. So basically what I'm going to do is that when you get the layer view, you got the layer, there's a lot of stuff happening. The layer view is in charge of drawing the layers, so it's fetching data, it's parsing data, and it's rendering data. So I need to wait for the layer view to be done. Right? Well, I guess technically I don't have to in this case because I'm not going to query the layer view. I'm not going to do anything interactive like with it. I'm just going to apply a filter to it. So let's try that. Right? So look at this. I can just copy this code right here, bring my filter in. Let me comment this out, bring my feature filter in here. So we're now going to say that do layer view dot filter is going to be equal to new feature filter. And this feature filter is going to have a where clause. And we're pretty much just going to copy what we had for our definition expression up here. Now this should work. Why is that giving me a... What's going on here? Why isn't it like that? Where's the problem? Oh, sorry. .js. Yeah, if I'm doing it in here, I need that .js. Oh, come on. Oh, I forgot this. I need to pull it from here. Man, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing today. There we go. And bam, there we go. So I've applied a filter to the layer view. Now, because I've done it on the layer view, the features for all this other stuff has still been downloaded, right? It hasn't really saved me there, as far as I know. Feature filter runs against features that are available for drawing on the client side. Yes, so they're already available for drawing on the client side, meaning that there's already other features here. So what I could do is I could do something like a set timeout, and we'll do something like, I don't know, what, 5 seconds, right? And we'll just say that the layer view dot filter is equal to null. There we go. So there's my filter. No, wait for it. There's a filter, and then if I get rid of the filter, does that work? Yeah, there we go. So the features are still there, just hiding them. Ooh, an alarm. Hold on. Oh, my bad. I'm probably supposed to do something important right now, but I don't remember what that is. Doesn't matter. This is important. So yeah, so that's kind of another way that you could filter the features in your application. You don't have to, you don't have to use definition expression. I recommend it if you're just doing something like this. You're just going to apply a filter to have a where clause. Then I recommend definition expression. Best way to do it. Another way this comes in handy is if you want to filter features based on a polygon from like another layer. So maybe you're going to in my case, maybe I would have the polygon for the state of California, or maybe a buffered region, and I want all those counties visible that touch that buffered region. So I could pass the geometry to that filter polygon along with the spatial relationship and distance and units, and I can go ahead and have it filter that way. That's another way you can do filters on the layer view, right? So that might be ideal, and you can have it based off of like moving the mouse around or something like that, which I am tempted to try right now, but I've never done that just like on mouse. Well, I've never tried to apply a feature filter based on pointer move using like, that's my geometry with a distance bit. I'm tempted, but I won't do it right now because if I jack this up, this is YouTube Live, I'll just quit because I got things to do today. But I think that'd be kind of cool, right? That's other ways you can do stuff. But again, the definition expression will be the most efficient way because it just saves downloading data to begin with. So you can also combine this with the feature effect up over here, right? So feature effect can take a feature filter, and I wasn't going to show it, but we'll just go ahead and do it just for fun. Let me remove. Oh, come on. Let's remove this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our filter here, like so. Ta-da. Now let's say the effect is going to be equal to something. And now I'm going to have a filter. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add, oh, don't need that. I will add one of these, I'll just copy. The grayscale and opacity for the effect is probably like the most popular because it just stands out the most. But like I said, any of the CSS like filters you could use in here, right? So now I'm emphasizing the state of California counties versus all of the other counties, right? So that's how you're able to use the feature effect combined with the filter on data on your map to kind of emphasize things. It's not really changing the visibility of them as it is more of like a different way to visualize the data, right? But back to my point, with the feature layer, you can't just iterate the graphics and turn the visibility of each graphic on and off. You need to apply some sort of a definition expression or a feature filter or a feature effect on the layer view. So I hope that helps some people out. If the question comes up, you can apply all this stuff. Check out the SDK. There's some great documentation and samples on this stuff. Some stuff really cool things you can do. So definitely check that out. Don't forget, if you have questions, let me know. You can hit me up on YouTube. You can hit me up on Twitter, probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe in the video. It